Hey guys, what's up? I am back with a new video, and I know you see it. You see it, right? You see something different? Yes, I got a new color and I'm excited about it. But anyway, that's not why we're here. Today's video is all about what happens. What happens if you don't actually hit your goal? What do? Is it the end of the world? Is it done? Am I a failure? Is this just it? That's what we're gonna be answering today. But anyway, guys, before I do that, hi, my name is Sonja of SonjaW Coaching, where we teach awesome, overwhelmed, just multi-passionate women learn how to acknowledge, execute, and win at their goals. We're all about making dreams meet reality here at SonjaW Coaching. And I'm excited that you're here with me today because I want to talk about something that I'm familiar with. I don't hit every single goal that I create, even though, that's, supposed to be the thing that I do. But I want us to kind of get out of that mindset of, we must hit these goals or it's just over, right? No, the goals it's a little bit different, but I'm hopping all the way into it. So let me actually bring it back a second, because I'm real passionate about this actually. Let me bring it back a second and answer this question. This is the question we're answering today. What happens when I don't hit my goal? There's so many things that I think about when I hear that question or when I hear that thought, because ultimately we don't hit every single goal that we come up with, that we put together. And that honestly is okay. I need us to get to the point in our lives where we realize that our goals are not who we are. Our goals are just stepping stones to where we want to be, who we want to be. They are not the end all be all, right? So that's where I want to kind of walk through, well, what do I do? How do I get past this? How do I get past not hitting the goal that I've been working so hard to hit, right? And I do this, and this is a couple of things that I just want to teach in this video real quick. One, what's the mindset that you should have around goals? And then two, actually, what do you do when you don't hit something? So number one, your mindset. It is so key, and I said it a little bit earlier, it is so key that we understand that we are not our goals, that our goals do not define us. Our goals are just stepping stones. They are just the things that we use to get to our desired state. If you've been working with me already, you already know that I'm always talking about, where do you want to go? What is your desire? What if all was well and everything was going the way that you want to go? Where is it that is? Write it down, right? Actually put it to paper. That's a life plan, right? And then your goals are only the stepping stones from where you are today to where you want to go, right? So when we think about goals, they should not be the thing that defines me. When I don't make a goal, it's not the end of the world for you. I love what it says in Romans 8:28, where it says that all things work together for the good of those who love him and are called according to his purposes. He says in Second Peter chapter 1 verse 3, it says that he has given us everything that we need for life and godliness through our knowledge of him. I always want to add that extra part, that last part, through our knowledge of him. And learning these verses and several others kind of changed my perspective on what it means when I don't hit a goal. What it means is that there's something that was off. You got to figure out what that is. And I'll talk about the practicality behind that in a few seconds. But it still will work out for your good. Just because you didn't hit that goal does not mean that it's over for you, that you have no recourse and that you're an absolute failure. No, it just means that in this season, something went wrong and I just got to figure out what that is and get back to it, right? And that it's not something that that defines you. Like, I don't know how, I can explain this or how much I can shake this in you. Your goals are not you. right? So, and I'm so passionate about it because that used to be me all the time. Where if I didn't hit a goal or I didn't do something as perfectly as I wanted it to be, then I was like, it's not happening. I'm not gonna do it. It's not gonna go anywhere. Like, whatever. Like, I used to be like that. But then I realized that my goals don't define me. God defines me. That's a whole nother thing. I could talk about that, But God defines me. How God made me defines me. And my goals, they're just things that I do, right? And yes, it is important to pay attention, to be intentional, to be disciplined, and all those different things. But if I don't make my goal, then that does not define who I am. It's just I got to figure out what to do. So let me tell you the practical things to do when you don't hit a goal. Take a moment and sit in that. Mourn the loss. Actually sit and be like, dude, I really did not make that goal. Take a moment to actually sit in that so that you have it and you're done. Like, it's over. Actually, a friend of mine told me about this technique and it is amazing. What he said to do was for 2 minutes, right? If you win something big or make a really bad decision, for 2 minutes, you sit in that. You yell, you scream, you celebrate if it's good. And then after those 2 minutes, you put it up, all that away, and you get right back to it. That is the mindset that you have to have, right? So, within those 2 minutes when you fail a goal, there's some other things to do. One, take a moment to look at that goal and look at your life around that. Ask the question, why did I not make this goal? Was it because I wasn't disciplined? It could be that. Was it because life circumstances changed and I couldn't dedicate the time to it? It could be that. Was it because I wrote this goal in such a way that it wasn't dependent on me to actually get it done? It's so funny. I just had a goal that I missed, and I realized it was because I was depending on others. Like, part of this goal was dependent on another person. So for instance, it was a goal about writing a paper for work and having it in review by a certain date. Now the date hasn't come yet, but because I review my goals, now that's something that I talked about I think last week or a few weeks ago. But because I review my goals, I realized it ahead of time. And I forgot that this paper that I'm writing is going to be dependent on some data that has to come from somebody else. Well, that data isn't here yet. So of course I'm not going to hit that goal. So now I need to change it. That's how that works. So you think about it. What was the reason behind not making the goal? And then after we figure out that, the next thing to do is to decide what you're going to do about that. Are you going to recommit to this goal and make the changes that you need to make the necessary changes that you need to make to hit it? So for instance, if you realize you weren't disciplined enough about it, or you realize that you got to change your technique or something like that, make the decisions to change that technique. Or are you just going to scrap the goal altogether? Because, and figuring out why you need to scrap it. Maybe it's because you're not going to make it. Maybe it's because it's a goal that did not make sense for your life. So for instance, you wanted to get out of $20,000 out of debt in 6 months, right? But then you lost your job, or you had a major expense that is a valid reason to decide I'm not going to get rid of this 20K in debt in 6 months. Like, it's just not going to happen, right? So that's when you decide to either recommit, maybe push the date out, or scrap it altogether and leave it for later. And then finally, after you have figured out why you missed this goal and you took a moment to decide if you're going to recommit or scrap it altogether, you take a moment. You do whatever you need to do with that goal. If you decided to recommit, write down that new goal in the place that you have all of your goals, and then take a moment to commit to it. Commit to being better. Commit to being more clear about the goals that you need to focus on. And take that moment and enjoy it. Learn how to be okay with changing things up, right? This is for all of my perfectionists out there. Be okay with things that are not perfect. It's okay. All right. So that's it. That's what you do when you don't hit a goal. You realize that the goal is not who you are. You are not the goal and it does not define you. But then also, you take a minute to decide if you're going to recommit or you're going to scrap it. And you make the necessary changes in your life to get this thing done. All right? So I talk through what you do when you mess up a goal, because it's going to happen. Life happens. You are not going to be perfect every single time. You're not going to hit every single goal, and that's okay. The better part is that you take the moments, you take the time to get better. And when you have a life plan, then you're able to take this and see how you can move closer and closer to the desires of your life and your heart, right? So if you had a life plan, then you would already know, okay, well, I couldn't hit this step in this season. So maybe I need to change my step. Maybe I need to navigate in a different space. But my ultimate goal is always that desired future. My ultimate goal is always that dream life in that area of my life. Okay? So I hope that was helpful for you. If it was helpful, go ahead, like, comment, do all the things. If you got questions, definitely comment down below. I am always checking. I really want to answer folks' questions. But what I really would like y'all to do is to subscribe. Subscribe so I know it's real. Okay? All right, bye, y'all. Have an awesome, awesome time wherever you are.